Hello everyone. This is a short video to walk through a demonstration that I've done in class before where we investigate the idea of prey profitability. Think about the situation that happens when an animal is faced with two or more different kinds of food items, and there's a choice to be made about which one to take. Which one's the one that gives the best energy return for the amount of handling time that it takes to actually manipulate and get to the point where ready to eat the edible contents of the food item. We can think about this as sort of like a theoretical type of thing, but it feeds into then other decision making that animals may face when they not only have a choice of items in front of them, but then have to factor in things like searching and how widely distributed different prey types are in the environment. And so if we want to think about optimal foraging and building up models of the kinds of things that animals should consume, this is a starting point for us. This is a demonstration we've done in class for the last several years, where we have some students actually handle some different kinds of food items. We work out the profitability of those food items, and we sit down and think about what that means as a concrete example of something that we talk about as a theoretical concept. Because we're not in the class, I'm gonna do this for you as my own run through, and then we'll talk about what the numbers look like, and we'll look at how my numbers today compare with the students who did this in class a year ago. And we can think about kind of what it means in sort of a very general sense in terms of the relative value of two very different kinds of food items if these were the things that I was faced with. So in this experiment, simulation, I should call it, I'm going to be handling two different kinds of food items, and these are actually the kind of things you might find around your house. There's certainly things I was able to buy from the grocery store. One of them is sunflower seeds, and we can ignore the fact that these are salted. What we're interested in really is the energy content in them, and for that we can rely on the nutrition labeling, which over here, if I can point in the right direction, tells us that for 50 grams of these with the shells removed, we have 320 calories is the energy content. So that's one kind of food item. The thing is, to get at that 320 calories of 50 grams, I've got to take the shells off those and get them ready so that I can stick them in my mouth. Our other food item are pistachios, and likewise, we've got nutrient information on there, and that's the French one. We're over here, get this centered. This will tell us that we've got 310 calories, also for 50 grams with the shells removed. Okay, so if we were just thinking straight out about the energy content of these things, the pistachios would seem to be the kind of thing that are less energetically dense than the sunflower seeds. But how easy is it to get at 50 grams of these versus 50 grams of these? And that's kind of the demonstration here. So I'm going to do a fast little simulation where I open up a bunch of these things, and we'll look at the numbers that we get from that. All right, for this simulation, I have taken out 10 sunflower seeds and 10 pistachios. And my goal is for each of these is to open them up and see how long it takes me. So we've got a timer here that will run. I will start and stop that as I open the seeds. And I'm going to drop the open ones right into a little weigh boat sitting on my little portable scale here. And that will give us the mass that comes out in the end. So I'm going to do these one at a time. I'm going to do the sunflower seeds first, and then we'll do the pistachios second. So we'll just slide those a little bit out of the way, And whenever I'm ready, I'm going to start the timer and we will begin the simulation. Stop. Well, 2 minutes and 4 seconds to do that. That's if I was a hungry chickadee, I might not necessarily be doing all that well to take that long for those. And what mass do we get? We got 3.3 grams. That's including the weigh boat. And we will do our mass off there for that. We got 2.1. So small amount, and it was a bit slow. So now that we've got that done, we will do this the second time now with our pistachios. Just slide the sunflower seeds off to the side there. We'll reset the clock. Bring the pistachios back into shot here. Make sure our weigh boat is clean and empty. And when we're ready, we will start the timer and go. Stop. Okay, so just a little over 40 seconds to do that. We'll put our scale back on and see what we got there. We got 9.7 grams. So now we can actually sit down and play with the numbers. All right, well, that was kind of interesting. Now, so what we want to do is actually turn those numbers into something meaningful. And what we're interested in is the energetic value from what we extracted divided by the amount of handling time for getting at that. And so what we're going to do is apply the numbers for what I got. So we're going to plug in the numbers first for our sunflower seeds and come up with a calculation that gives us a number to make sense of things as a measure of profitability. So I was able to open up 1.1 gram of sunflower seeds, and we're interested in knowing what proportion that is out of 50 grams because that's the value on the nutrition panel on the package, and we multiply that by 320 calories, which was the caloric value for 50 grams. So we get a value there, an energy content of what I opened of just over 7 calories. But we want to scale that to the handling time, and to do that, then we're going to divide by the time it took me to open those, which was 124.26 seconds. And when we do that, we get a value of 0.056. So we can now do the exact same thing for our pistachios. We can see what the profitability of them is, and we'll do it in the exact same way. So we start off with the mass that I opened, which was 7.5 grams. We divide that by 50, and we're going to multiply by 310, which was the caloric value on the nutrition panel on the package. And that took me 40.64 seconds. And we get a profitability value of 1.144. So with those numbers, we can see that the pistachios are far more profitable. They're more than 20 times more profitable as a food item for me than the sunflower seeds, even though on a per gram basis, the sunflower seeds themselves have higher energy content. But they're much smaller, and it takes more energy or more time to open them up. So let's take a quick look at the results from the class last year that did this. This is the Google spreadsheet showing their results right here, and I will put a link to this on the content page on my learning space so you can have a look at this yourself. What we see here, they worked in 4 groups. Each did 10 sunflower seeds and 10 pistachios, exactly as I did. Their times were quite a bit better than mine. Oh, well, one group was on about the same values as mine. A couple were a little faster. One was about the same. So not too much difference there. A little bit of variability between people. And I can tell you from my own run through on this just now, with the sunflower seeds, there was a bit of learning there. My first few were much slower, and as soon as I worked out a strategy for getting them open, I got a little bit better, but not much. Okay, it still took a time. So what we've got is the time it took to open 10, and we turn that into a handling time per seed. So just divide that by 10. We've got the mass that they gathered from 10 of each, and then did the formula exactly as I did to get the caloric content of 10, and then we broke that down into the energy value of a single one. So basically dividing out the fact that there were 10, thinking about this on a per individual food item basis, and that gives us profitability values. And if we look at the averages among those 4 groups, the sunflower seeds, similar to mine, a little bit lower in score, and the pistachios were a little bit higher. Not too far off, but we get this idea that basically pistachios as a food item are more profitable than sunflower seeds. So that's just a quick little demonstration showing how we can work out profitability of prey types when we've got 2 piles that are present in front of us. Okay, all we had to factor in here was the energy that we got out and how much time it took to get the mass out that we can convert into energy. We didn't factor in searching at all. We assumed that these things are present in front of us as something that are equally available, and it didn't take any effort to find them. Okay, we'll dig in as we talk about the topic a little bit more. We'll dig into sort of what happens when you encounter one type of food item as you're searching, whether or not you should take it or pass it up and go looking for something else. But that's adding a little bit of a wrinkle. We can talk about that later on in class. But for the moment, you've got a little bit of a sense of how we might assess how profitable different prey items are. And for some organisms, this will then factor into things like diet choice. Do we have different prey types that are equally profitable, or are there big differences like we saw here with the example of the sunflower seeds and the pistachios? In the meantime, thank you for taking the time to watch. We'll talk about this more in class, so I will see you there. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.